Good morning, students. Today, our topic is depreciation. In the accrual accounting system, depreciation has to be provided on fixed assets on suitable method, under suitable method to determine the profit or loss of the business in a particular period without considering depreciation. Whatever the businessman calculated profit, that is not the accurate and correct profit. After calculating the depreciation only, you want to consider the profit or loss. Definition of the depreciation. Depreciation is a permanent and continuing reducing the quality and quantity and value. Quantity and quality and value reducing in the of an asset. Okay, reducing in the value. The amount of depreciation to be written off during the lifetime of an asset should be equal to cost of asset minus scrap. The total amount of the depreciation does not cross the asset value. That must be less than the asset. That means if an asset lifetime is 10 years, when we buy that at a cost of 20,000, every year you are write off the depreciation 2,000. At the end of the 10 years, the asset value is 0. In the 11th year, there is no depreciation on the asset because of the asset value is 0. The asset value is 0. Next, what are the causes for depreciation? What are the causes for depreciation? We'll see the next one. Here there is a two types of causes are there. One is internal causes, external causes. Here, internal causes means wear and tear. When an asset is continuously used, it wears out. That means if you are every day you are using any product, that efficiency of the product is reduced on the continuous usage. That value is called, that whatever value reduced, that is called depreciation. This is the one of the cause. Next, depletion. Depletion is the reduction in the value of asset, reduce the value. For example, when a coal mine, you are taking the coal mine, you are digging the coal from mine, the value of mine was reduced. Accidents and maintenance. These are all internal causes. Next, we go for external causes. Obsolescence, lapse of time, permanent fall. Obsolescence means after a certain period of the usage of the asset value, the asset is, you can't use that asset, not working properly. This may be cause. Lapse of time. That means every asset have some period of work. After 5 years or 10 years, after the lifetime of the asset is not working. That is lapse of time. Permanent fall is the reduction in the value. Next, why we are calculating the depreciation? Why we are calculating the depreciation? What are our objectives? What are the objectives for calculating the depreciation? First of all, for ascertaining the true profit and loss. That means here, already in the introduction part, we explained that without calculating the depreciation, whatever profit you are showing in the profit and loss account is not an accurate profit. After depreciation only, whatever you profit get, that is the correct and accurate profit. That profit only considered for distribution of the share to the shareholders or either to the partners. Because of depreciation is the one of the expenditure. Next, second up, for showing a asset at a true and fair value in the balance sheet. We purchased an asset in a 5 years back at 1 lakh. After 2, 3 years or 5 years, the asset value was reduced. But you are not calculating any depreciation in the last 5 years. In the purchasing year, you are showing the asset value 1 lakh in the balance sheet. After 5 years also, you are showing the balance sheet 1 lakh same. But actually, the asset value was reduced after 5 years because of we're using that asset due to wear and tear, exposed, different reasons. Already we explained. The value of asset was reduced. That means actual value is less and whatever your value showing in the balance sheet is more. That is not a correct manner. Actual value must be shown in the balance sheet, asset value. That means every year you want to calculate the depreciation and reduce from the asset value. After deducting the depreciation only, the asset value must be shown in the balance sheet. And third one is replacement of asset. It is the important one. Why buy a machinery, plant and machinery at a high level of cost? For the replacement, the lifetime of the machinery is 10 years, maybe 15 years. After 15 years, you want to replace that machinery with a new machinery means you want to calculate the depreciation. For the at the time of calculation of depreciation, whatever you calculate the depreciation, that amount will be start one savings for replacement of asset. The equal amount of the depreciation amount will be deposited in a bank account or put in an investment or whatever it may be. After a particular time, the accumulated amount will be with the accumulated amount we purchase that asset. It is very useful to the purchase of the asset for the replacement. Otherwise, again, we want to bring the cash from business, regular transactions. From regular transactions, we take the cash and buy the asset. It is affected to regular day-to-day operations. That's why if you are calculating the depreciation and the same amount will be invested or deposited in other ways, and whenever they require the machinery replacement required with the funds, we can easily buy the assets. Next, to ascertain the true cost of production, with the help of the machineries, we are producing the goods. Whatever depreciation we recorded in a 1 year, that amount will be distributed to added to the cost of production. That means normally cost of production include material, wages, labor, like this. We are added this depreciation to the cost of then only we get the actual cost of production. Next, for complying with the legal requirements as per accounting standard and income tax rules, all the business people who have assets, depreciable assets, the depreciable assets must be calculated the depreciation every year. Then only we can show the true and fair value of the asset in the balance sheet. Okay, is for complying the legal requirements. Calculation depreciation is the one of the legal requirement of every business. For preventing the distribution of profit out of capital. For preventing the distribution of profit out of capital. For example, we didn't calculate the depreciation every year. Every year the profit shows the more amount. That is not the actual profit. After deducting the depreciation only, actual profit. To prevent the distribution of profit. That means At the end of the lifetime, at a one time, the value of asset if you total reduce means the loss will be occurred in the 1 year at the closing time. To reduce this, to prevent this distribution of the loss expenditure every year lifetime of the machine. These are the main objectives for calculation of the depreciation. Next. Here, methods of depreciation. There are 8 methods of calculation of the depreciation. Selection of method is depend upon the nature of asset and to fulfill the legal requirements. Here, accounting system, as per accounting standard, as per income tax rules, diminishing balancing method is only accepted method regular assets. But different methods are there. That is the first one, fixed installment method. That means in this method, the amount of depreciation is every year equal. Same. Diminishing balancing method. Every year, the value of asset was reduced. Similarly, the amount of depreciation also reduced. This is the diminishing balance annuity method. This annuity method is generally used for lease purpose. Lease. When you took a lease, want to repay the lease amount every year. After 5 years, the lease will become a zero. For that purpose, we are calculating the annuity method. And depreciation fund method. It is one of the best method for replacement of assets. Because of under this method, how much we have a right of the depreciation, that much of amount will be invested in an investment or deposited in a bank, which has a fixed rate of interest. Then at the end of the lifetime of the machinery, it was easy to buy. The businessman can buy easily that asset again for replacement. Insurance policy, this is another one. This method is used for which assets are costly. Next, depletion method. This is used mainly mines. Revaluation method, machine hour rating. We will discuss this each and every method again. First method, the fixed installment method. Here, the amount of depreciation is calculated on the basis of one formula. Cost of the asset minus scrap value. Here, scrap means what? After completion of lifetime of the asset, for how much you are sold, that value is called scrap value. Cost of asset minus scrap value. That divided by estimated lifetime of the asset. We estimate our asset is working for 10 years. We buy that product 1 lakh. After 10 years, whatever we have a scrap, the asset will be sold for 10,000. That means with this formula, 1 lakh minus 10,000 divided by 10. Every year, want to rate of the depreciation 9,000. At the end of the 10 years, the scrap value is 10,000. When we sold it, we get the 10,000. The asset will be closed. That means, irrespective of usage and value reduced or increased, the amount of depreciation at the time of purchase year, at the time of end of the lifetime, we are calculating the same amount of depreciation. Under this method, this is the one of the disadvantage. Because of when we purchase an asset at the time of purchase and a new machinery, we get the more production. The machine is work very efficient. But At the end of the lifetime, the machinery can't work that much of efficiency at the time of purchase. The efficiency of the machinery was reduced of day to year, but the amount of depreciation is same. This is only the disadvantage under this method. And this suitability. This method is suitable for those assets in relation to which repairs and maintenance charges the possibility of obsolescence is less. It is suitable for furniture, patents, copyrights, etc. That means the assets which does not have any repairs, not much of repairs, maintenance is the possibility of obsolescence is less is suitable. That means furniture, patents, copyrights. These assets we can calculate the fixed installment. However, the government or income tax act or accounting standard does not accept the fixed installment method. They are only follow diminishing balancing method on. That is the second one. Next we go for that. Second method, diminishing balancing method. This method is calculate depreciation every year opening balance of the year. Every year on the opening balance of the asset value. In the first method, we are calculating the depreciation on purchase value of this. The amount of depreciation is every year same amount. But under this method, the diminishing value balancing method, whatever we have a asset value at the opening, we are calculating the depreciation on the opening balance of the 30-year period. This method is suitable for such assets that have a long life. It is suitable for assets that require considerable repairs in the latter years, such as plant and machinery, freehold buildings, ships, etc. Before only we discussed the method of depreciation is selected on the basis of asset. In the first method, patents, furniture, copyrights. That assets does not require any repairs, maintenance charges, obsolescence. But in the diminishing balance method, the assets which requires the repairs, maintenance charges, and long life of the asset, that such type of assets were suitable for this diminishing balance method. Here, the depreciation will be calculated every year opening balance. And third method is annuity table method. Under this method, they mention the one table, annuity number, and rate of interest, and lease period. On the basis of three components, how much amount to be every year depreciation on the lease, and how much interest they charge, and at the end of the lifetime, the lease value become a total amount. This is the annuity method. Our next method is sinking fund method. Under sinking fund method, replacement of asset is easy because of how much your depreciation calculated. That much amount will be invested in a bank or shares, debentures, whatever investment. But that investment must be earn a fixed rate of interest or conditions, not a marketable securities, just like a debentures like that, which earns the fixed rate of interest. We invest the amount under sinking fund method every year, how much we write off the depreciation. At the end of the lifetime of the machinery, under sinking fund, we can raise the funds to replacement of asset is easy because every year how much amount we invested in an investment that will be withdrawn and that amount was utilized for replacement of the asset. This is a second sinking fund method. Insurance policy method. This method is suitable to those assets which are costly and which are wasting in nature. And depletion method. Depletion method is used for mines, coal mines, different types of mines. Amount of depreciation, rate of depreciation is cost of mine, estimated quantity to be raised. For example, we took a mine for 10 years and we estimated that in the 10 years, 1000 quintas will be produced from mine. Then cost divided by 1000 quintas, each quinta is a depreciation. Every year, how much you produce coal from the mine into that rate will be calculated, depreciation. This is used for only mines and revaluation. This method is most appropriate in case of assets like a loose tools. Here, loose tools means it is a small assets, tools used for the working and repair for the machineries. In a factory, we are using the machine, plant and machineries. For that, we need some tools. The tools is the revaluation. The tools lifetime generally long period. We can't calculate the depreciation. Every 2-3 years we revalue the asset. Is that useful or not? 1 year, every year we are revaluing the asset. What is the value? If the whatever value reduced, that will be called as a depreciation, revaluation. Because of the loose tools are used whenever shut down the plant, when shut down the machinery, or any repair occurs for the maintenance purpose, they use the loose tools. Otherwise, they won't use. That means at the time, at the early lifetime of the machinery, the usage of loose tools is very less. Whenever lifetime goes on, the repairs, maintenance is for the purpose they are using the loose tools. That's why we can't say that either depreciation, diminishing balancing method or straight line method. That's why we go for this revaluation. Every year, how many loose tools we have? Sometimes the loose tools will be uh, the number will be reduced automatically. It is misplaced. That's why every year, beginning of or ending of the year, we valuing the loose tools. How much is the cost? The rate amount of difference will be considered as a depreciation. These are the different methods under depreciation.